Member for Tweed.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Disaster Recovery. Minister, the recent Auditor-Generals report on the operation of the Resilient Homes program was very critical of its delivery in the Northern Rivers. Whilst it is welcome that the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority has committed to implementing all of the Auditor-General's recommendations, what action have you taken to improve the program?
I call the Minister.
I thank the member for Ballina for her question, and in doing so acknowledge her deep commitment to the recovery of the Northern Rivers. And I've always found your contributions, Tamara, to be constructive, compassionate and grounded in the betterment of community, which is what it should always be with any disaster. And I really need an hour to answer your question, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best in a few minutes. And as the member has acknowledged, the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority has accepted the findings of the audit report and is acting on all of the recommendations. There were 5 key recommendations. The report was no surprise to anyone who's lived through the recovery of the Northern Rivers floods, but it's not the full story. It was clear that elements of planning, governance and delivery for the Resilient Homes program and the Resilient Lands program were not sufficiently developed, well, not really developed at all before the programs commenced in 2022. There was no public policy framework that we had to actually work in to deliver such a massive program at scale. Both programs were established during an unprecedented disaster recovery effort, and the urgent need was to give immediate support to flood-affected communities and severely traumatised communities that persist to this day. None of us are left untouched by that trauma, and I look at members opposite, both the member for Myall Lakes and the member for Cootamundra, and I know that everybody who's either directly impacted or involved carries that trauma. And the member for Tweed and the member for Clarence, I mean, we work as a team on this. But that urgency, fragmented recovery, limited upfront planning, it contributed to implementation challenges for what are both unprecedented long-term recovery programs. And as both inquiries found, the parliamentary and the independent one, it tested the state's capabilities in 2022, but we've continued to grow and learn since these events. I had already taken steps to address the 5 recommendation areas identified in relation to the rollout of both programs in the Northern Rivers. One of the things and I say it now, I say, all I expect is competence and compassion, not perfection. And as long as we have those two operating, then we've got a good go. And that's been the mantra that the RA is adopting as well. But we've increased support available to affected homeowners who are raising or retrofitting their homes, including the introduction of the building...
Member for Ballina. Additional 2 minutes is granted.
Thank you. And the Building Advisory Service and upfront funding for building costs to reduce the financial barriers to participation, launched local auctions of bought back homes and sort of turbocharged that, made it happen. One of the most accessible and affordable housing programs in the country, and you know, one house went for $1. And I was on a farm the other day where there's a relocated house. It was out near Nimbin, and there's 2 more going onto that property, so the whole family can be together. Announced an expression of interest to reuse bought back homes, more of them, so that community organisations in particular and can reuse homes for community benefit. Launched the sale of land in Gunnellabar's Mount Pleasant estate, pre-sales for Lismore East and North Lismore will be in August, and secured an amendment from the Commonwealth so that land bought back under the RHP can be used for community benefit and light industrial use. I'll also inform that the New South Wales Government has approved 982 buyback offers and bought back 813 properties, 192 demolitions completed to date, with approximately 74% of materials being recycled or reused. I know some people don't want any demolitions. That's just not practical. Some of them have to happen. and 1,149 resilient measures, home assessments have occurred with 378 approved grants for retrofitting of homes or house raises. Also, I want to say that we decided to do things in the Northern Rivers on an equitable basis. If we hadn't, every dollar would have been spent in Lismore. And it's my hometown, so that was tempting, but we did it on, very tempting, but and the mayor too, but we did it on an equitable basis, and that involved the member for Ballina, the member for Clarence, the member for Tweed,
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Minister.